Hello and welcome to another random car build where this time the generator gave me off-road budget, which is kind of an interesting year to try and build a car for. In the end, well, it was a 1982 car and 80 styling is relatively easy. I like to think, at least, because you just give it square headlights, big bumpers and lots of plastic. Not too much effort. So, yeah, I tried experimenting. I already knew what headlights I was going to use when I first saw them. They were just perfect for it. So, in the end, I started messing about with like things to fill up the space. I tried to go for like this asymmetrical design there. I think in retrospect I should have like gone with those ones, but in the end I try like this sort of slightly weird, I don't know, like sort of design almost. I don't know, which I kind of like. I don't know. It's a bit weird and quirky, which perfect for the 80s. Since it's an off-road car, I want to give it quite a rugged look. So give it like big bumpers. Try and make it look kind of a bit bigger and tougher than it actually is. Although this is still quite a serious off-roader, as you'll see when I discuss the technical bit later. I'm gonna keep on focus with the design bit for now. Sort of gave it like a bit of a front lip thing there using the cutout piece, and then sort of just looking for ways of filling in that gap where the tearing is. In the end I just settled for using a lip there, just covering it up, and then I give it some fog lights because, well, it's an off-roader, needs fog lights, more lights are better. Then sort of trying to continue the asymmetrical grille there, adding this sort of another piece there. It's a shame actually I didn't go back and put a badge in that section, the filled up, or the body colour section I should say. I think that would have been quite a cool idea, especially with the badge design that I used later, which, okay, it's not much, but I don't know, I thought that was neat. The indicators, something pretty generic there. Sort of the easy thing to do on this body is to just use the square ones and make them wrap around the side. And then here I'm just sort of trying to hide the tearing a bit, which it's a bit annoying to be honest when you like really stretch bumpers and they start tearing through the body. I have no idea how it happens because they're like laid over the top. As you can sort of see there, turns out I didn't make it quite big enough, that stroke, because there's still a bit, but it's fine. Now for the side, I had a bit of a weird idea using these like sort of decal pieces. I decided to literally cover up the side, give it like a sort of two-tone effect. This was probably the most time-consuming part of it, and probably the reason this build took as long as it did. Just me going over, fine-tuning the black pieces to make it all work. But I don't know, I think it looks good. It was, especially with the colour combination, the bright orange that you'll see in the thumbnail, so don't really care about spoiling that. Yeah, I thought it was quite a cool design in the end. So it's that sort of slightly quirky 80s with all the graphics and decals and things like that. Maybe it wasn't quite extreme enough. Maybe I should have gone for like a two-tone thing to really sell the 80s look. Or maybe some stickers, some extra, I don't know, like injection badging or something along the side. Because that's what the 80s was all about, really. It was just a decade of buzz years. Buzz years? Buzzwords. I can speak. It's fine. Also, I may have slightly forgotten to have mirrored it and had to go back and mirror all those pieces. That was unfortunate when I realised that. But it's fine. I've done worse. There was one time where I did it using loads of small badge holder pieces, or the badge surround pieces. That was a unfortunate mistake there. But it's fine because I also sorted that out. And using those like triangle pieces to fill in the gap there, just mirror it up, make sure it's all there. And I do quite like using that triangle indicator piece, as you'll see a lot. Not too sure about changing the door handle to plastic there, mostly because it turns the keyhole plastic as well. Not really sure how realistic that is, but no, this is the ultra budget off-roader. It's fine. Plastic key holder. After about 10 uses you can use a lollipop stick to open it, but it's fine. Then windscreen wipers. I do quite like doing this format because it means when I'm not commentating over it I do remember these little details a bit better. I can afford to take my time. I don't feel so rushed doing things like those side decals either. Then give it a bit of a roof rack. I wanted to try and make it obviously an off-roader, because I think that's a issue that you can have with these builds, is that sometimes the car isn't obviously what it's supposed to be. I think I've done a good job so far of what everything is, but yeah, just if I didn't go all out, I was worried it was going to look a bit like a generic city car or a small car, when I was sort of trying to go for like the almost Fiat Panda 4x4, I think was my main inspiration for this, which, yeah, I think I made a pretty good competitor for. Then this taillight design, I had something a bit weird of an idea, where I used that sort of taillight piece and then basically put the reverse light underneath the black bit there, as you can see. I don't know, I think it's a neat idea. I'm not sure how well it worked. To be honest, it's not the prettiest of the design, but I do like the way that I integrated everything on the back with the stripe there. I think that was a interesting idea to at least experiment with. Then looking at plate holders and things, in the end I go with that flat piece. What I do is I do my standard sort of put a vent on the back, the one with the sort of sideways pieces. You overlap like plates and badges over it, and it adds some depth to the back of the car, especially if it's a flat rear. And then, yeah, I think it looks alright. Also, I remembered to make it yellow, which is something I sometimes forget. And then, yeah, there we go. The amazing idea for a badge using the automation logo as the O. And, yeah, using a piece there to make sure that everything's lined up properly. The exhaust even was something I wasn't too sure on. I wasn't too happy with the way the exhaust was sort of tracking to, or like trying to connect to that exhaust pipe with the way that it hangs up. So I ended up, there's a exhaust mod where one of the things it adds is a no-tip exhaust. So I used that piece and then just put it into the bumper, which, as you'll see later, doesn't really work out. Then spare tyre and stuff, you could see me just trying to scale it next to the light, to the wheel even, just to give it the right sort of size. Picking the colour, I don't know, I want to go with sort of a more glossy than flaky, shiny. I want it to look shiny, but not sort of metal flake or anything. I'd like a quite sort of glossy design. And then adding a light bar at the top, using the roof rack piece, which I thought was quite a nice way. I know there are some pieces with like lights on, I think there's a bumper piece, but I don't know, I was quite happy with that. And then replicating the same sort of design on the back with the bumper bars. Mud flaps then, I mean, an off-roader sort of has to have them, but just trying to scale them right. In the end, I couldn't get it to work on the back without them sticking out horribly, like you can see there. At times, like times 6 speed there, it actually looks kind of funny, the way that I'm sort of shaking about. So I use the decal piece to sort of create a bit of a mud flap shape, and it works. So there we go then. Over to past me. Just going to give a quick overview of the mechanical side of this. Nothing too long and drawn out. So 5 seats, obviously, it's very much an off-roader. Steel ladder chassis, and I actually galvanised it. Solid axles front and rear, although they are coiled because they're slightly better for off-roading than Leafs. Very lightweight at 814 kilograms. The engine is a 1.4 litre overhead cam 2-valve inline 3. Maybe I should have gone with direct acting. I don't think going with push rod would have been a good idea though, since to make the most of them you need to make them quite big engines, and at this size I really wouldn't have been able to get the displacement since it needs to be quite a small engine to be cheap. Yeah, I think going overhead cam would have been the better option there, but it's fully cast iron to make it nice and reliable. If we look at the test track, yeah, it doesn't have a lot of performance. 79 mile an hour top speed, 17.1 seconds to 100. And yeah, it's just sort of not a performance car by any stretch of the imagination. Does score well though, as you can see. 204.1 in off-road budget, so I think I hit my target. And in off-road utility it does well. Off-road utility budget, it's pretty decent all around it. It even does well in things like family budget, city budget, things like that. So I think I made quite a good car here. My really only problem with the way that I've set this up is the gearing, because this is just horrendous. High spacing, but it's also got quite a high top speed, so it's absolutely no top end. But I sort of need it. You need high spacing for good off-road, since you want lots of low down power. Essentially, having high spacing means that you can pull yourself out of ditches, things like that. But then it means that there's high wheel spins. You need to increase top speed, which also helps with fuel economy, of course, but it just means that you have no high end at all. Feels quite good in, say, city driving situations, but then once you get up to high speed, yeah, it's just going to feel awful. Anyway, let's go and try this out in BeamNG and then get the test driver to give it a go. Well, here we are then in BeamNG, and rather than just hand it straight over to the test driver, I'm going to give it a bit of a play with myself. I'm only using controller. I couldn't really be bothered to set my wheel. It actually goes alright. I mean, it's a bit wobbly, but yeah, I think we need to give it a bit more harsh off-roading. It actually copes with bumps decently well, and I mean, I know it's going slowly. I really need to reset my speedo to mile per hour actually. But yeah. Oh, that's not handbrake. What's handbrake? Okay, there's a bit of an issue with the gearing. If I go to third, there's no pull at all. Yeah, the markets might like that gearing, but it doesn't really work out in practice. Still, it being front wheel drive and having basically no power means that it is very controllable. Although we are just going in a straight line, so actually I think that would reflect more on me if it wasn't. Handbrake turn. Yeah, look at that. Basically Colin McRae. Alright, let's give it some more harsh off-roading. Ooh. I spy something. Tell you what, it is coping with all this very well. We're absolutely not going to have enough speed for this though. I should have got a longer run up. Keep him second, keep it in second. Oh. Oh. Does it still... No, it's sort of got the full NASCAR setup there. To be fair, that is just the axle, so... in theory, I could just repair this through, like... if I, like... hang on. I'd sort of need to, like, hold down the rest of the car, and to be honest, I don't want to click all these points. In theory, if I just grabbed a piece and, like, pulled it... oh. Okay, I think I've only... did I make that? Yeah, I think I made the problem worse. Oh well, I tried. Okay, we're giving ourselves a proper run up here. That gear change didn't feel so good there. It's fine. Oh, we're getting up into third gear. We were quite close last time, so this time we should clear it with ease. Oh, we hit 88 there. Admittedly, it was kilometres, not miles, but you know. Close enough. Yeah, this thing's a rally machine. It is actually surprisingly fun to drive. Yeah. There we go. And I mean, you know, it's, when I'm not being an idiot, it does, like, handle off-road relatively well. I mean, I was thinking, considering it's front wheel drive and stuff, it's okay. I know it's only like dust and dirt and stuff like that. It's not too intense, but it's not really having any traction issues. I don't have to lock the diffs or anything. And like, now I can get down here. I hope. Yeah. See? This thing is okay. Now it's sort of twerking a bit, but it's fine. It's a surprisingly good off-roader. I'm actually surprised that this is mostly competent, apart from the sort of useless overdrive fourth gear when third's already insanely long. Look, the automation demographics don't really understand gearing, but they like it when it's useless, is what I'm learning from this series, basically. Oh no, no, I've overcooked it. Brake. Oh no. No, right, it's fine. This is just... I meant to do this. This is part of the test. We've just got to get this down here. Okay, that has rolled. Oh, now it's yeah. So let's go see what sort of lap time this does around the track. I'd imagine not that quick. Oh, and I've just noticed the smoke. I didn't notice that earlier when we were testing it. It's fine. Also, yeah, I really ran this lean, apparently. Yeah, there we go. Or I suppose maybe it's just not lean because it's driving it. Whatever. Anyway, it's slow. Very slow. In fact, I don't know why I hid the HUD. You should see top speed and stuff. And hey, I'm back to miles an hour and stuff. So, sorry all kilometers, people. It's fine. Almost 60. Or almost 100. Whatever. Yeah, it's not got corner speed. At all. And yeah, that really long third gear, that gear change sounded a bit dodgy. On the bright side though, this being an off-roader, you could really take the curbs. I feel like that's a thing could have taken more advantage of. And minimal braking, because you don't need to. It's not going quick enough. I am actually surprised at how flat it is. Like, I'm amazed there's not more body roll. Like, okay, there's a bit, but it's not actually too bad. I will say, watching it though, I really wish I set the exhaust up properly, or at least somewhat correctly. Maybe move the hidden tip to somewhat near the actual exhaust pipe. Could have actually moved it to the bumper behind it. Whatever. And around the final corner. And across the line. There we go. And yeah. Oh, nice. Sudden abrupt ending. Yeah, it's at a time of 1 minute 36.362. It's a lot slower than anything else. It's 7 seconds slower than the luxury car we had, which I suppose isn't too much of a surprise. But there we go then. This was actually quite a cool build. I'm quite happy with it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to Boost and Ethanol for more of this. And until next video, goodbye.